Welcome, everyone, to Burgess Power Hour. We are here talking about abundance, the essence of abundance. And I welcome all of you to be on the call. And I need everybody on the call to hit *6, please, so you can mute yourself. I can hear people talking in the background. Hopefully you can hear me. And if you can hear me, please hit *6 so that I don't hear you talking in the background, okay? And if not, I'm going to have to go ahead and mute everybody. So I'd prefer it if you, whoever's I'm listening to with your conversation, if you could please hit *6 so I don't have to mute everybody. So I've got a lot of things to share tonight or this morning if you're calling from the other side of the world. And if you are here, you are thinking about or maybe perhaps wanting more of abundance and what that means to you. And I welcome all of you. We have people from Florida and Arkansas and New Jersey and Georgia and Canada and all over Florida. And actually, I am sitting at my beach house right now looking out at the ocean. We're doing some maintenance on one of the houses down here. So I am in Florida, which is unusual for me at this time of year for sure. So I don't know what it is about Florida, but we're all, I guess it's because it's nice and warm, but it's been about 55 degrees here during the day, so it's not that warm, but I'm on the Gulf Coast. So I just welcome all of you who are listening, and again, it's going to be a fun hour together to remind us of what abundance is and how we can create it. I've got a lot of tools to give you. And as you know, if you've ever been on these calls before, I love it to be experiential. So if you are driving this, you may not want to write anything down, obviously, if you're driving. But if you're not, go ahead and get something to write with and something to write on. That way we can do some. You can take notes, but also we're going to do a little bit of exercises to try to get to some of the root causes and core issues that you might have that may be blocking you from going to the next level of your abundance. So go ahead and get that. A little bit later on, we're going to go there and see what we can find out and dig around in that subconscious and see if we can find something that we can help you release. And I keep saying we. I guess I'm the royal we or something, but it's me. But we're all in this together, so we're all together here now. So, again, last thing I'm going to say is hit *6 to mute yourself so we don't hear your background noise. And when you want to speak again, you can hit *6, and that will unmute you. Okay, great. So let's start out by saying, what is abundance? Let's get some clarity around what is abundance. Tonight is all about the essence of abundance. And I love starting out with abundance in the new year because that seems to be something that people want to shift a lot of. So that's why I created a course, of course, Essence of Abundance, but that's one of our Essence series that we have, Essence of Being, Essence of Abundance, Essence of Commitment, Essence of Love, Essence of Trust, and all of those different essence series that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and *5. I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys because I hear a lot of background. So what this means is if you want to speak, you're going to have to hit *6, okay? So let me go ahead and do that so I can get rid of all this background noise. All right, so everybody is muted, and if you want to unmute yourself, hit *6 so that I can hear what you have to say, because I do want to hear what everyone is saying, and we are very experiential with these calls, so it's not just a bunch of me talking. I want to hear from you too, okay? So let's go back to what is abundance. What does it mean to be abundant? What is your definition of abundance? And we had a little mini class last week in Atlanta, Georgia, about abundance and the essence of abundance. And the thing I wanted to remind everyone, if you were at that class or if you have taken any of my programs before, just to remember that we all are already abundant. But think about when you ask for more abundance, look around you right now, wherever you are. Look around, be present with this moment and say, okay, where am I abundant? Do I have an abundance of clothes? Do I have an abundance of clutter? Do I have an abundance of debt? Do I have an abundance of books? Do I have an abundance of cash laying around? Do I have an abundance of ex-boyfriends or girlfriends? So you get my point that when you ask for abundance and you say, you know what, I want to be more abundant, I really want you to focus in on what it is that you're already abundant with and be mindful of what you ask for. Because if you have an abundance of, let's say, stuff, if you have an abundance of, papers and clutter and things all around your house or your car or whatever, and you keep asking for more abundance, sometimes we have to be a little bit more distinctive as far as what we're asking for. We need to have some distinctions because really, if you think about it, we're all abundant. We all have an abundance of something. So when you ask for more abundance, be mindful of what you're asking for and realize that, you know what, I'm already abundant in some things. Maybe it's not what I want. Maybe it's an abundance of debt. Or you can look around and say, I do have an abundance of books, or I have an abundance of jewelry, or I have an abundance of friends, or I have an abundance of gifts that are mine. So if you just stop for a minute and decide, what do I have an abundance of? And just breathe into that. In other words, think about, I guess I am abundant in a lot of things I wasn't really clear or present to. I'm really unconscious about all the abundance I really do have. And then ask yourself, okay, well, what do I want an abundance of? Let me be very, very clear, and let me be very mindful of what I'm choosing to ask for more of. So just to give you a little bit of background about where I've been and where I've come as far as my abundance story, and we all have these stories, right? But just to give you an idea, if you've never taken any of my Essence of Being programs or anything, or if you don't know me, long story short, not very long ago, I was a single mom. I was divorced. I had a 2.5-year-old son. So as a single mom, I had lost everything. I'd lost my business, my house. I had one car that had one headlight out and one door that didn't work. And I think it creaked. It actually, when I would drive it and park, it creaked. It was so old. So I had lost everything. So I felt like a failure. I felt like I wasn't able to really be important in the world. And even though I was teaching and even though I was adding value in a lot of ways, I felt like I didn't know what had happened to me. It's like, why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. I don't understand this. I'm out sharing all of these belief systems and out doing my work and my mission and my purpose here and being in all of that. And yet this abundance part just didn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me, or I wasn't living it the way I really wanted to. So the thing I want to tell you is, from that place, that's where I made the decision that I choose to be abundant, and I'm going to give you a lot of tools tonight on what worked for me and remind you of some of the tools that you can use so you can keep creating more and more abundance of wealth, abundance of happiness, abundance of cash, an abundance of joy for yourself. So what I did, there was a lot of things I did, but just to get fast forward a little bit, I kept believing in all of these principles that I teach people now that I've been teaching around the world for 23 years now, and I've been involved in personal transformation for 35 years. So I'm old, but, that's just the way it is. So the thing is, I decided that I chose abundance, that I wanted to have teachable moments in my life to share with people. Now I have millions in assets, and like I told you, I'm sitting here at my beach, one of my beach properties, sitting here looking out at the ocean, talking to you right now. And my son graduated from NYU. He travels around the world. He's in a touring show of Mamma Mia right now, the Broadway show. He's singing and dancing and acting, doing what he loves, getting paid for it. I've been involved with a man I've been married to now for 18 years, and all is well. And I'm ready for my next level. So the reason I'm telling you all of that is no matter where you are in your prosperity awareness or your prosperity consciousness, it's okay. It can improve. And I'm a walking testimony that these types of beliefs and these types of tools I'm going to share with you really work. So let me get started and figure out what it is, let you figure out what is it that could be limiting you from your next level. So in order to do that, we have to go to that subconscious place, that unconscious awareness that we're not even clear on what's there. So in all the work and programs that I do, we work with the conscious beliefs and the unconscious beliefs. So as I've said before, for those of you who've listened to me before, your conscious beliefs are your gas. In other words, if you're driving your car, then your gas is what you really, really want. That's what you choose to have. Those are your conscious thoughts. Those are your desires. You're very aware of those. And then your brake is the resistance, which could be the unconscious part of you that is not aligned with your conscious self. So your brake is the resistance. So if you're driving around in your car with your brake and your gas on at the same time, you can spin your wheels and you get stuck. And I know a lot of people, and not me included, sometimes we get to that place where we feel stuck. And so oftentimes what people do is they let go of the gas. They let go of their desires. They just settle and feel like, well, this is as good as it gets. Or I'm just too tired. I don't want to go anymore, and I want life to be easy, but the only way that I know to make it that way is just let go of my desire. So what we do in the programs, and hopefully what I'll be able to share with you tonight, is some tools that you can use to let go of the resistance, to let go of the brake, so that your desires and the things that you choose to have in life actually will happen at a very fast speed. If you think about it, if you're putting your foot on the gas, pedal to the metal, and you let go of the brake, you're going to go pretty fast. So that is why we go to that subconscious level, so that we can identify what is it that's going in there, because that's the driver of our bus. Many of us do these affirmations or these thoughts about, I call affirmations little lies we tell ourselves until they become true, saying things like, I'm worthy, I deserve to have everything I want, I deserve to be abundant. But there might not be, we may not really be believing that 100%. So it doesn't show up in our reality as quickly, perhaps, as we'd like. So I tease about affirmations because they really do work, but if your conscious and your subconscious is not aligned, it can get kind of tricky and messy, and it can take some time. So what I'd like for you to do, we're going to go to that subconscious level now. I want you to really get in touch with some of the things so that you can identify what is it that's limiting me at this moment right now. And then once we identify what those are, then I'm going to give you a bunch of tools that you can help reframe, reshift, release all of those things that are coming up for you around abundance. So again, just to remind everybody, if you want to say anything, all you have to do is hit *6, and that will unmute mute you so you can ask me questions, and also so you can share with me, because as you know, in these calls, I love people to share some of their ahas that they have or any questions that you have during this process. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do a stream of consciousness writing. Some of you may have done some of these questions before, or these statements, and I've added a few others in here, some more distinctions. So if you've done some of these before, great. If not, great. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you a statement, and you just finish the statement. In other words, I want you to rate yourself 1 through 10. 1 being, I absolutely do not agree at all, and 10 being absolutely 100% I agree with this statement, and anywhere in between. So if you kind of agree with it, but not so much, you're not sure, maybe that's a 5. So we're going to rate. You're going to rate these statements on and write down the first things that come up. In other words, don't try to edit it or figure it out or try to change your mind, okay? So go ahead and just rate yourself 1 through 10. Again, 1 being, I don't agree with this at all. 5 could be halfway. 3 is not quite. 10 is absolutely 100% I agree with this, okay? So just write down your first responses. There's going to be 13 different statements. You don't need to write the statements down. I just want you to write down the number. Write down the number that you're going to rate yourself. 1 being I don't agree, 10 being absolutely 100%, and anywhere in between, okay? So I'm going to repeat these twice, and then when we're finished with all of them, I'm going to go back and repeat them again so that you can circle the ones that you think came up for you to really look at, okay? All right. Number 1 is, money is the root of all evil. Rate yourself 1 through 10. Money is the root of all evil. Number 2, it's more enlightened to be poor than rich. It's more enlightened to be poor than rich. Number 3, most rich people probably did something bad or dishonest to get their money. Most rich people probably did something bad or dishonest to get their money. Number 4, having a lot of money will make me less spiritual or pure. Having a lot of money will make me less spiritual or pure. Number 5, getting rich takes too much work and struggle. Getting rich takes too much work and struggle. Number 6, having a lot of money is a big responsibility. Having a lot of money is a big responsibility. Number 7, I don't feel good enough to be rich. I don't feel good enough to be rich. Number 8, realistically, chances are I'll never be rich. Realistically, chances are I'll never be rich. Number 9, getting rich isn't for people like me. Getting rich isn't for people like me. Number 10, getting rich is a matter of luck or fate. Getting rich is a matter of luck or fate. Number 11, striving for wealth won't allow much time for anything else in life. Striving for wealth won't allow much time for anything else in life. Number 12. If I have a lot of money, it means someone else is going to have less. If I have a lot of money, it means someone else is going to have less. Number 13. If I get a lot of money, I might lose it. If I get a lot of money, I might lose it. So now, what I want you to do is add up your score. So if you joined us late on this particular call, we're going to have it recorded. We're recording it, so you could go back and do this yourself when we get the recording out to you on our Facebook groups and on our website. You'll be able to get this recording. But go ahead, those of you who have been on the call, go ahead and add up your entire rating. So add up all the numbers that you wrote down. So what we're doing, for those of you who've joined us late, is we're digging into that subconscious level around money and abundance to see what could be limiting you from becoming the next level for you. So add them all up. Once you've got them all added up, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to circle every one of the numbers, circle every one that is 5 and above. If you rated yourself 5 and above, go ahead and circle that. Okay. Now, if you scored over 50 as a total amount, I would say you have some abundance behaviors that you may have some challenges in your life, and there's definitely some work to be done around creating prosperity in your life. So I would really pay attention to some of these tools that I'm going to give you tonight. And those of you who had 5 and above on any one particular question or statement that I read, I want you to really pay close attention to which ones those are, because that is a clue as to where your subconscious is or what your belief systems are around money and abundance. And at the beginning of the call, remember I asked you, what are you abundant of? You know, you must have an abundance of something in your life. So what we're really concentrating on now is the cash part, the money part. So I'm going to read the statements one more time, and go ahead and jot these down, if you can, that you have 5 and above on. And again, you'll be able to listen to the recording so that we'll have those on the recording as well. So I'm going to just say them 1 through 13 we had, right? 11, 12, 13, yes. So you'll be able to see which ones that you scored 5 and above on. Number 1 was money is the root of all evil. Number 2, it's more enlightened to be poor than rich. Number 3, most rich people probably did something bad or dishonest to get their money. I'll say that one again because it's long. Most rich people probably did something bad or dishonest to get their money. Number 4, having a lot of money will make me less spiritual or pure. Number 5, getting rich takes too much work and struggle. Number 6, having a lot of money is a big responsibility. Number 7, I don't feel good enough to be rich. Number 8, realistically, chances are I'll never be rich. Number 9, getting rich isn't for people like me. Number 10, getting rich is a matter of luck or fate. Number 11, if I get rich, everyone will want something from me. If I get rich, everyone will want something from me. Number 12, if I have a lot of money, it means someone else is going to have less. Number 13, if I get a lot of money, I might lose it. Okay, so hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight as to where your subconscious is. What are your belief systems around money? Because, again, the subconscious is the one that's driving us. Even though we do these affirmations or we have all of these things, these tools that we use, if our subconscious and our belief system is not in alignment with what we want, then it can trip us up a lot. So does anybody want to share anything? Remember, if you hit *6, that will unmute you. Yes.
Hi, it's Christine in Hawaii. How are you?
Hi, hon. Good to hear from you. I bet it's not freezing there.
No, it's not. It's beautiful. But I wanted to just first acknowledge you because I love your cause. I actually met you in Florida at an event with Karen, and you worked on me with this financial piece before, and I got a really big breakthrough. And then today I'm going through, I'm like, oh, I'm a 1. I'm so proud. And then you hit the part where you were like, having a lot of money is a big responsibility. I'm like, oh, I'm a 5 here. So that's the only one that I have, but that's a big one, I think. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, and I love hearing that. See, it does work, right? You're able to get through things, and you get down to a 1. That's awesome. That's awesome. So that big responsibility it doesn't surprise me because that typically for most people, that'll come up for a lot of people, that it is a real big responsibility. And think about it. If your subconscious is saying, wow, it's a big responsibility, it feels heavy. And if you have, for instance, the people that won the billions, okay, the 1.4, whatever it was, 1.5 billion, whatever the lottery was that just happened, think about that. For some people, it's an oppressive amount of money about what am I going to do with it? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? It's going to be so much responsibility. I won't be able to bear the weight of it. And just by saying or feeling or thinking that can absolutely block all of it coming to you.
Yeah.
Because if
totally
you feel like, if it's a big responsibility, if that is a subconscious belief, that is going to inform every decision you do, every behavior you have. You're going to go, well, I'll have just enough where it's not too oppressive or heavy and I can handle just a little bit, I'll have just enough, thank you. And that is what a lot of us do. We think it's going to be a big responsibility. And the thing to break through that belief system is when you have millions of dollars or even thousands of dollars or whatever it is that you say is enough or what you want, you pay other people to help you, dear.
Yeah.
You pay other people to help you with that load, if you will.
But it's so funny you're saying that because I'm in this place where I'm like, it's funny you're saying that because I own my own business and I'm in this place where I'm like, I need help, but I can't afford to pay people, but I don't want the responsibility of a lot of money. So you can see the conflict, right?
Exactly. I mean, you have to laugh. I mean, sort of, but it is.
Yeah, because it's hysterical. It's ridiculous, yeah.
Thank you, honey. It's great. That's perfect. It's a game. And thank you for saying that. And it's a game that we all play. And we can play it as a game and play with money and understand that money is just energy. Or we can also, on the dark side, we play a game of it's just too heavy and I don't want to have that kind of responsibility that I might mess up or I might be a failure or I might lose it. You know, so, it can absolutely we say we want it, but we're absolutely repelling it from us on an unconscious level. Money's not going to, we'll have just enough to get by. And when we're caught in that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much because I just think you and your work is just phenomenal, and I always get something amazing, so thank you.
You're welcome, hon. Thank you. And I'll be out to Hawaii soon, so hopefully we'll cross paths again. So for those of you who had your 5, is there anybody else who wants to share? And I'm going to get to the tools that I can help you with, and no matter where you are. Does anybody else want to share anything? Just hit *6.
Yep, Birch, it's Katie from Connecticut.
Hey, Katie from Connecticut.
Hey, I miss you.
I miss you. You're freezing up there, I bet, but not as much as our Canadian friends.
No. We're supposed to get snow on Saturday, but I don't know how much it's going to miss us and hit Jersey. But, I had ones pretty much all the way down except for number 8, I think. So I think that was the really that was the big one. It didn't matter what I had in the other ones because this one is chances are I'll never be rich. It knocks everything off the.
Well, it does, doesn't it? That's a big one, right?
It doesn't matter.
Chances are I'll never be rich. So it's that feeling. Thank you for sharing that. It's our and that can be a feeling of why bother? Why bust my buns? Right. Why hit my head against the wall when it's just not going to happen? It's just never going to be realistic.
Right.
I will say, Katie, that some people, they feel like they're too old. It's sort of like, it's too late.
Right. Right. And it's never too late. But I think that's just funny that it didn't matter what any of the other ones were. If this one is there, then it just knocks everything off the field.
Well, let me reframe that for you, honey. First of all, I just want to acknowledge that everything else was a 1. That's pretty freaking awesome, right? So I want you to just take a moment and just acknowledge that within you that, that basically all those things are, you've shifted any beliefs from any of them. And, this one about chances are I'll never be rich, I think what that'll bring up for you is an identification of, you know what? It's never really too early or too late to really have what I want and choose what I want. And realistically was the key word here, because if you feel like that is in other words, change the realistically part, you could say, I always have a chance. I always have a chance to be rich. And if you don't like what you're looking at, look somewhere else. You know that whole adage, right?
Right.
So
walk down a different street.
If your reality is not what you want, then change your reality. So, and you've done that over and over again in so many different ways. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. Okay. So, but don't think that that's the only thing that's going to knock you off everything. I just want to first acknowledge you for everything else was a 1. So that's great. So first of all, go there. Okay. Second of all, change the realistically to chances are I always have a chance to be rich.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, honey. So let me go ahead and give you. I have a plethora of tools for all of us, and a couple of the things that I just want to share is how I got out of where I was, and when I'm ready to go, I'm going to the next level myself. And part of it is give as you go and create a flow. and those of you who have been to my programs or been on the calls or whatever, you know this is something that I love to say. Give as you go and create a flow. So what happened to me when I was down and out, and when I was that single mom traveling in my little car that didn't work with one door that I had to crawl in, and I had my 2.5-year-old son, I felt the most abundant when I gave someone else something that they did not have. So what I did is I shifted my whole vibration of my consciousness around lack. When I thought I was not enough, and I didn't have enough, and I didn't know where to turn, and when I was feeling sorry for myself or feeling in a lack, just feeling like I'm in lack, I would give somebody something, and that automatically shifted my consciousness, my vibration, and my feeling place of, you know what, I am abundant. I just did something and added value to that person's life. That shifted me out of A, feeling sorry for myself, B, feeling lack that I was not abundant, and C, just made me feel better. So give as you go and create a flow, and it really did prime the pump is what I call it. I don't know if any of you know about pumps anymore, but on the farm, you'd prime the pump. In other words, if you're trying to get water from a well and there's a pump there, you have to prime it, meaning you have to pump it a lot in order for the water to actually flow out. So what I call all this whole process is just priming the pump. You're pumping and pumping and pumping. Nothing's coming out yet, but it's priming it so that it can flow. And that's why I say give as you go and create a flow. And it's so interesting to me about cash and how it is so in touch with water. We call it the flow of money. We call it liquid assets. We call it leakage, like when we have a leakage of cash, which I want to share with you how to do that, how to really access where am I leaking my money? Where is it going? Okay. So money is actually, in my world, it's connected to water. It flows. It goes in, it goes out. For a lot of people, that's exactly what happens. It comes in, it goes out. So and of course, water is emotion. A lot of time, we spend money to avoid pain. So sometimes, think about it, when we're in pain or things are not working for us, what do? We go eat, we go spend money, we go, it's a shopping therapy or whatever you call it. So money can really, we think, will soothe our fear. It'll soothe our pain. And so if we avoid money, okay, for some people we think, well, we're not that spiritual or pure, or we're just going to just not have it around so that we don't have to worry about it and handle it. But if you avoid money, it's just as negative as if you're attached to it. Because if you avoid failure, let's say, okay, you can also be avoiding winning. So if we're afraid to fail, then we already have. Think about failure is part of the process. Failure is part of winning. In other words, think about athletes and how many times they fail, and then they win. But if they avoid that failing process, then you could be avoiding the success. So a lot of times people aren't where they want to be in their life with, especially around money, is because they're afraid to fail. Either they've never made enough money, or they've made a lot of money and they've lost it. And so that fear comes up for us around cash and money. And our self-worth comes up because we think about our credit reports and we think about what's, all the stuff. And we say that's who we show up in the world. That's our worth. And so we align ourselves with money, and we have this really emotional attachment around cash. So in our Essence of Abundance classes, we really get in touch with this a lot. But I just wanted to throw that out, that a lot of times we will try to avoid money, or we try to use our money to avoid pain. Either way, it's avoidance. So, again, remember, if you're afraid to fail, then you already have, because you're not participating. Because, as we say in all of our workshops, the only failure is the failure to participate. So, going back to priming the pump. So whatever you're doing, give as you go and create a flow. Give your way out of the situation you're in. That really does work. It really, really elevated me to a whole nother level. So giving back to prosperity is what I call that. That is an absolute tool to use. And just notice how you feel when you give somebody something. And, of course, they receive it. And I talk a lot about giving and receiving as the same energy. I go into that a lot in our Essence of Being classes. But the point here is, if you give to someone something that you have, then that will shift your vibration, because you'll feel better and you'll feel more abundant, because you're adding value and giving something back. Now, here's the catch. You can't give to somebody and go, I'm going to give to this person because I really need the cash, so I know it's coming back to me, so I'm going to do it for that reason. So you have to give without any attachment, and just allow yourself to feel the feeling of feeling abundant. The other tool that I want to give you is called the money game, or I don't know, I call it the money game. It's basically, you have 4 buckets. And those of you who have heard me before, you may have heard me talk about the 4 buckets. However, there are 4 different places that you can put your money. You want to identify where you spend it, where you give it, where you save it, and where you invest it. So basically, you spend, you give, you invest, and you save. Those are the 4 buckets. Spend, give, invest, and save. So the money game, there's twofold. One thing is, you basically every day, and a lot of new thought leaders have done these kinds of games, every day for 30 days, you spend $1 million. Now, what I mean by that is, you pretend, put yourself in that space of, I have $1 million, what am I going to do with it? Okay, how am I going to spend it, give it, invest it, and save it? You can do that for 30 days. You spend $1 million in your mind. How are you going to spend it, give it, invest it, and save it? Put it in those 4 buckets. See, because our mind does not know the difference between the actual experience and the one that's imagined. And this is, quantum physics has actually proven this. So just like if you think of creating what you want in the world, it's sending out a signal or an energy vibration from your brain to the universe to create it for you. So you have accumulated a ton of evidence from your past and your present that you cannot have certain things in your life, or maybe it's too hard. And your belief system is formed. So what this is going to do, this is going to reform beliefs in the quantum field. In other words, your mind is not going to know the difference about spending that $1 million. So give it, spend it, invest it, and save it. That's one piece of the game. The other piece of the game is to really divide up your prosperity pie. So with your paycheck or your monthly income, or if you can do this on a weekly basis, if it breaks it down easier for you, or you can do biweekly, or you can do monthly. So whatever income you have coming into your business or into your personal life, okay, or if you have a job, whatever income that you have, you want to divide everything up into 4 places, 4 buckets: save, give, spend, and invest. Now, once you divide it up into 4 buckets, I want you to really make a pie chart. In other words, it's going to be fun. I don't mean to make it seem overbearing and horrible. Just draw a big pie, draw a big circle, and you decide what percentage every month, or like I said, maybe you do it every week, maybe you do it every 2 weeks, or do it every month. But you add up how much did you save, how much did you invest, how much did you spend, and how much did you give. So each month you can look back at that and really look at the pie, your pie chart, and say, wow, 10% of what I made this month I gave. 20% I invested. 2% I saved, and everything else I spent. So this is real. It can be fun. Make it a game, because life is a game. Make it a game and say, okay, I'm going to look at my pie chart, my prosperity pie, and I'm going to see what percentage each month or each week, depending on what works for you, how did I divide up my pie? Give, spend, save, and invest. Now, let me give you the distinctions. You know what giving is. You know what spending is. Saving is basically putting it somewhere where it's going to actually grow with compound interest somewhere. Okay? Einstein said compound interest is the greatest force in the universe. Okay? So you want to put it somewhere where you can actually earn some type of interest and save. Now, the thing about the saving part of this pie is you never use it. Never use it. It's off limits. Okay? People kind of like don't understand that and take big gulps when I say that, but basically it is there for you to know it's always there. One of the tools that I use to help you with this concept is you get $100 bill, you put it in your wallet or put it in your purse, and you always have a $100 bill on you, no matter what. You never use it. You just walk around with your $100 bill or your $1,000 bill if you want to do that. But basically, you walk around with the cash in your pocket or in your wallet or in your purse, and it's always there. So the feeling that you have about, wow, I could buy that, I'm not going to, but I could buy that. Hey, I could afford that. Hey, I'm in a store, I could get that. Or, hey, I could donate that. So in other words, you always have it with you. It's always there. So the part of you that could go back into that feeling place of lack, you don't allow yourself to go there because you have it. At least you have $100 in your pocket. You're not penniless or poor or in lack. And like I said, for some, you could make it a $1,000 bill if 100's not a big deal to you. It just really depends on where your value system is, where your belief systems are. So that is a big tool to use to help you save. Just don't spend it. Just always have it. Now, the other part of the pie is the investing. And investments are assets, things that put money into your pocket. Okay? So anything that puts money into your pocket is an investment. And you want to make choices based on your due diligence of, it could be stocks, it could be bonds, it could be houses, it could be it could be businesses, all kinds of things that you can invest in. Okay? But the part about investment is some of it is a risk. And a lot of people are afraid to invest because they're afraid to risk, which goes back to they're afraid to fail. There's not enough. So if you get into a habit of every paycheck or every monthly income statement, however you bring income into your business or your home, okay, whatever percentage, go ahead and write down the percentages of what you invest, save, give, and spend. And, of course, investment can also be taking a course and learning how to do all of this, or an investment in yourself. I also use investments as it's an investment of my time to take holidays and take vacations. That's an investment in myself. Some people look at that as spending, but I look at it as an investment. So you can play with these words a little bit, but strictly speaking, investing means you're putting money in your pocket, if you want to look at it that way. Okay? So, give, spend, save, invest. How do you divide your prosperity pie? Another tool to use. And again, by the way, some of my students, their retirement plan is to buy lottery tickets, and that's not really a solid type of retirement in my world, but for some people that's their only strategy they have. So I'm giving you different strategies on what you could do in order for you to retire or feel like you are able to do what you want without too much concern. So if you have a lot of debt, okay, debt can be very, very painful for some people, and they feel guilty about it. So if you have a lot of debt, it's okay if it's good. There's such a thing as good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is that consumer debt. Basically, you pay, it's gone. Good debt is where you invest in something. It's considered an asset, or it puts money in your pocket. So a good debt, obviously, would be a mortgage. In other words, hopefully, these days, your house is worth more than what your mortgage is. Hopefully, it's turning around. I'm just giving you an example. That's not consumer debt. So if you have, though, a lot of bad debt, sometimes it can create an emotion around that. You feel guilty that you have all this debt, and it can feel burdensome. So here's the thing you got to know about debt and about guilt. If you feel guilty, you are going to create punishment in your world. In other words, guilt demands punishment. You could be punishing yourself on an unconscious level and beating yourself up for being in so much debt. So just notice if that's you, that you either punish yourself, that you self-sabotage things because of your guilt, or other people come and punish you. Either way, you are the common denominator. And it's not real apparent to a lot of people sometimes. You don't think about my debt is really creating all of this angst in my life. But if you feel guilty on an unconscious level, this is going to create punishment, either by someone else or by you for self-sabotage. So just keep that in mind, okay, that you want to release the guilt and be innocent around money. I'm innocent around money. I'm innocent around money. So another tool is finding out where you're leaking. Where are you leaking your cash? Where's all of this going? So for 2 weeks, I encourage all of you for 2 weeks, and this is a good time to do it. It's January, so it's a good time to do this. For 2 weeks, carry a notepad or your phone or something around with you in your notes. Keep track of every penny you spend, whether you're spending it, saving it, investing it, or giving it, okay? Just notice where you're spending your money for 2 weeks. No matter how big it is, no matter how small it is, make it a game, make it fun. Don't make this a chore, okay? During the 2 weeks, you pay attention to whether you're leaking any money. What that means is you're unconscious about it. To leak means to permit an expenditure to occur without conscious regard. So I'm going to say that again. To leak means to permit an expenditure to occur without conscious regard. And you know what I mean. A lot of us are very unconscious around money. Where the hell did it go? I just had it. Where'd it go? We're unconscious with what we're doing with it. So what this will do, this will help us focus and see, where is our money going? What are we doing with it? And again, if you make it in the form of a game, it'll be easier, I promise. So you could ask yourself, when do I go unconscious about spending money? What time of day is it? Am I in a particular kind of mood? What happened to me today that made me go unconscious? Or you could say, hey, on which items do I spend most unconsciously? So in other words, you could really get some clarity around, I'm really conscious about certain things, but when I start talking about food, I just go unconscious about it. I just spend money on my food. So you ask yourself, are these items I really want at the time I buy them, or are they an impulse buy? Do I get my money's worth out of them, or do I just let them lie around? Is it an addiction or a habit, or what behavior do I have around these types of things that I'm buying? Where do I spend my money consciously? So you can ask yourself, what I spend on, does it bring me pleasure or not? Do I feel pressured by others to spend money in certain ways? Or do I loan money to rescue others? So these are great questions to ask yourself in the next couple of weeks while you're doing this, is just see, where am I leaking money? And this will help you get in touch with any leakage that you might have. Just basically what I'm saying is be more conscious around what you're spending. And I have a couple of affirmations I do want to give you. So if you wrote down, I can't save money, or you feel like that's something you haven't been able to do before, your affirmation is, I save money easily. If you believe that you don't earn enough money, your affirmation can be, my income is constantly increasing. My income is constantly increasing. If you've said to yourself before, I can't pay my bills, then an affirmation for you is, I bless all of my bills. I pay them on time. I bless all of my bills. I pay them on time. I have a lot of students and a lot of people have written on their checks or on their electronic things, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed I have a bill that I have to spend this money on because it's paying for my beach house or something like that. If you say to yourself, everything is just so expensive, here's a great affirmation for you. I always have at least as much as I need. I always have at least as much as I need. If you believe that you have to work hard for money, here's a great affirmation. Money flows easily to me. Money flows easily to me. And if you're one of those who feels like money comes and then money goes, it just kind of goes in and out, here's a great affirmation for you. I have enough to share and spare. I have enough to share and spare. So I have a lot of different affirmations you can use. But again, remember, these affirmations could be little lies you tell yourself until they become true. So you have to get your subconscious aligned with your conscious beliefs. So hopefully some of these tools that I gave you, just use them, do them, and ask yourself, you know what effect can I really create in the world when I have my millions? How can I really add value to the world? And I hear this all the time. People say to me, I think rich people are bad. So if you believe that rich people are bad, then why would you ever want to become one? So that is a limiting belief right then and there. All of us want to be loved. All of us want to be liked or loved and wanted and appreciated. So if you have some type of unconscious belief that rich people are not good people, then why would you ever want to become one? And that is absolutely what's going to block you. Don't give your power away to money. And how I'm going to leave you tonight with this Essence of Abundance Power Hour is, don't give your power away to money. It is your employee. You are the master. It works for you. You don't work for it. So because you were on the call tonight, I am going to invite all of you to go to my website, essenceofbeing.com, and on essenceofbeing.com you'll see a place for you to put your email and your name, and you will get 4 free videos from me of how to create wealth. You also can text, if you like, 96000, okay? Just text that number, 96000, and put in the message Burge, my name, Burge, B as in boy, U-R-G-E. That will also give you a link to go in and get these 4 free videos on how to create wealth. And the next time that you are able to experience our 3-day event, Essence of Being, will be in Atlanta, Georgia, February 19th through the 21st. I invite you to come and experience this if you got anything out of tonight, just think about how 3 days with me face-to-face and what kind of an effect that could have with all of your belief systems whirling about. And the next time we speak will be February 17th, our next Power Hour. It'll be, of course, our Love Power Hour, February 17th. It's every third Wednesday of every month. And this particular topic is going to be the power of love. And why does it hurt so much? So that is my topic next month, is the power of love. And why does it hurt so much? So please join me next month. Please text and or go on my site, get those 4 free videos. I invite you to come to any of our programs we're doing all around the world this year. And we are doing, if you're in the Atlanta area, next week, January 27th, is the Essence of Commitment. We're doing free little mini workshops for everyone, and we will be doing them in Florida as well. They're 2-hour little mini workshops that you can attend. And I will be sending this out to everybody. It'll be on our Facebook. You can go on Essence of Being and our fan page. We'll have the link for you to listen to the recording again. And also, you're welcome to go to any of our groups that we have if you're a graduate, of course. If you're a graduate of any of the Essence of Being classes, you have full access to that. Or you can also get on the membership site, and that's for anybody at essenceofbeing.com. You can just sign up for our newsletter and get on our membership site, which will have all of these recordings there as well, that you can access these at any time, plus a lot of other goodies and freebies that I give you. So I hope that you got something out of tonight, and this will boost your abundance for this new year. And I'm now going to unmute everybody so we can all say goodbye and talk to each other again. If I can get back to my phone here. Okay. Okay, is everybody unmuted?
Hello?
I think so. Yes, hi everybody.
Hello.
That was
Hello.
fantastic.
Thank you for listening, everybody. You're welcome. And I'll talk to you guys next time, and I hope that I get to see all of you in person. So until then, remember, what you focus on expands. Say goodbye and where you're calling from.
Goodbye
Goodbye,
from
Joanna
Connecticut.
Plantation.
Mm. Hmm.